Spindle is a top-down action-adventure with Zelda-like style of combat and puzzles. It is a take on the retro RPG style, and I have just beat it. I've beat the main quest line, and I've actually done everything to get the true ending except actually turn it in, so I have not actually triggered the true ending yet, but I have everything needed to do so. Um, I am just, I seem to have been locked out of getting this spiritual perfection achievement, which I should have earned, and so I'm waiting it to trigger the true ending until I can figure out what's going on there. Anyhow, this video is discussing what I would like to play after Spindle, and I have a list of 14 games that are possible next games to Spindle, and ranked from 1 to 14. This is a subjective list. It is based off of what I thought they should be ranked in the order that I thought that they should be. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a subjective list. There you go. There you have it. Anyway, number 14 is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which has that top-down style. And it has the puzzles and it has combat, but this is kind of, I don't want to call it a meme game, but it is a very humorous game, and it's not to be taken seriously, and it's also not particularly long. That's why it's 14th out of 14, is because it isn't exactly a Spindle-like. I just invented a genre there. But it's not exactly the same like open world exploration feel. But it's $14.99 at full price, and it goes on sale for like $2 or $3. So that's number 14. Number 13 is Garage Sale, and the reason this is 13 instead of 14 is because I decided it should be. But this is not a combat game at all. There's no combat in this game, and it is really a hidden gem. It's only 102 user reviews, and it's more of an exploration game with collectathon elements. And relationship building to some degree. But you wouldn't call it a life sim. It's still more RPG-esque, but it's different than Spindle. It's not a full-fledged RPG anyway. It's a cheap little game. It's $6.99. It doesn't usually go on sale, but I mean, it's already inexpensive, so that shouldn't particularly be much of a problem. Number 12 is Cat Quest, and I chose the original Cat Quest for this. It's an action RPG, and it's known for having easier combat and being good for beginners to the RPGs and games in general. And it's known for having humor and just being very approachable for casual gamers. But yeah, it's not higher up on the list just because it hasn't particularly piqued my interest more than the ones that are higher up on the list. I don't know what I just said. It hasn't piqued my interest as much as or more than those other games. Anyway, this is Cat Quest. There is a demo, which I'm learning about now. It is $12.99, which is not a bad price, but I've seen it go on sale for like less than $2, which is an even better price. That is on to the next game, which is Garden Story. And Garden Story is an interesting one because it is an action RPG, top-down pixel art, but it's considered to be a cozy game, if you will. So it's considered to it's not really thought of as in the same vein as like typical RPGs. I believe that it does have an open world. It's I believe that it does anyway. And then it has some of the elements of a typical RPG. It does have combat. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but you play as a grape, so it does have that humor as well. You play as a grape and you're fighting rot. This is $19.99 at full price, but I would never pay full price for it. I believe it goes on sale for $4, maybe $3. I think 4. I could be wrong. Anyway, so there's that. Next up, number 10 is Frogsong, and Frogsong is like a really niche little action RPG. So it doesn't have an emotional narrative like Spindle. Well, it does have a bit of an emotional narrative actually, but it's just more lighthearted than Spindle. And your enemies are bugs, and yeah, other than that, it has the appeal of an RPG, and it has all. You could call it a Zelda-like or a Spindle-like, I guess. It's $14.99 at full price. I believe it goes on sale for like $7.49. I would have to fact check these things, but that's what I think it goes on sale for. Next on my list is Reverie I, which is a pixel art puzzle adventure. I just find the art style to be beautiful. It's more of a mystery. There's no combat in this at all, so it's kind of Zelda-like-ish, but there's no combat. So that's where it diverges from Spindle or like a Zelda-like top-down game, but it's not completely top-down either. It's kind of top-down-ish. Anyway, I just really like the art style here, and I definitely do want to play this game at some point. I think I said it was combat-free. It does look like there's a bit of combat in like mini games, but it's not like you're actually fighting enemies. So, this is another one of those like hidden gems, but like with good reviews. It's 96%, but out of only 277 user reviews. There is a demo or a prologue. I've seen it called the Night Reverie Prologue before, but full price is only $9.99. I think it goes on sale for 50% off. Frequent enough. Anyway, that was number 9. Number 8 is Arietta of Spirits, and Arietta of Spirits, as you can see, is full price $14.99 and on sale right now for $2.99. And they call it a story-driven action-adventure game. So I was reading some of the reviews, and the reviews influenced why this is number 8 instead of higher up. The reviews were just saying it's not actually particularly emotional. Like it's developed well, it's okay, but it's just, they were saying it's just like kind of mid. Like it's not going to get a bad review. It's not going to be not recommended because it's all right, but there are more emotional and more well-developed games out there. But they also advertise this as only having a 5-hour playtime, which is all right. You know, I'm fine with that. But because of that, like, it's more approachable as an RPG. Also say that it has easy approach game mechanics, and I'm all for that because I am casual. The next game on my list is Minishoot Adventures. I do not know why I used that inflection. Anyway, Minishoot Adventures, which does have that stray apostrophe for some reason. I'm sure there's a reason for that, and I don't know what that reason is, but this combines, they even call it like Zelda-esque exploration. I think they put that in here-ish. I don't know. I could have sworn I saw that somewhere, but it combines the open world exploration. Oh no, it just is open-ended exploration. It didn't say Zelda, but you all know where that comes from. But with twin stick shooter and bullet hell mechanics, and so look at that. I'm not making things up. I actually know what I'm talking about. It's a first. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it just has really appealing art style, and it has open world exploration. So, you know, it's Zelda adjacent. It's Spindle adjacent, if you will. that is number 7. Number 6 is, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this because I've never heard someone actually pronounce it, but it's Evoland or Evoland, and it's a kind of meta adventure through the history of action adventure gaming, starting in like a retro pixel art style, and then as you progress through the game, it becomes more complex. It ends up being 3D, but it's still a more retro 3D game. The game was released in 2013, so that's not entirely surprising, but it's very interesting, and it's $9.99 at full price. I would probably just go with this original one. There is a sequel though. I don't know what it goes on sale for. Number 5 is OneShot, and OneShot is not entirely a Spindle-like or a Zelda-like, but it has overwhelmingly positive reviews, and it's a puzzle adventure game with no combat. It is top-down, and there's a light mystery, I believe. So it has, exploration and puzzle and adventure and all and pixel art and all that. So it's spindle chasing, it counts, and I just want to play it, so that's why it's so high up on the list. And it's also pretty cheap. It's $9.99. It does go on sale at some point, and I'm not sure exactly what it goes on sale for, but something. Number 4 on my list is Anuchard, which, as you can see, is just a cheap little game to begin with, $5.99 and on sale for $2.39. And it's reason why it's so high up on the list. It has a very similar storyline to Spindle. And I don't know, this is just your typical like action adventure RPG. The art style is different than Spindle. Apparently it's not quite as like well developed, but it does have at least like a 10-ish hour main storyline, main quest line. And it would be worth a playthrough. It's this high up on the list because it's just so similar to Spindle, just in themes and mechanics. But then we're going to switch gears for number 3 a bit and go to Okami, which is like a very well-known game. Apparently, it's by Capcom, and it's been out. I think the original was older than that, but what do I know? I'm probably spewing nonsense because I don't actually know video games. I just pretend to know video games. But it is $19.99 at full price, and right now it is 50% off at $9.99. And it's this high up on the list because it's one that's easier to approach for casual gamers, and people tend to like the art style, even though the art style is very different than Spindle. So that's not why I'm considering it a Spindle-like. But anyway, it's an RPG. It's an approachable RPG. Number 2 is Under the Island, which released in 2026. Yes, it did. And it's just another top-down action adventure Zelda-like. It's just very apparent where those inspirations were, but apparently it has a lot of charm of its own. It seems very well made. Has 93% positive. There is a demo which I've downloaded and not played, and because I am running out of time, because I didn't pay for the deluxe version of this screencast thing, I'm moving on to number 1, but this is a game I definitely want to play at some point. And one of the most similar ones to Spindle. So number 1 is Ogu and the Secret Forest, and this is number 1 because it's definitely a top-down Zelda-like action-adventure game, and also has very positive reviews. But the storyline involves collecting shattered pieces of power, which is very similar to Spindle. That's also what you're doing in Spindle, so it just has very similar themes, and that's why it's number 1. It's $24.99, which I think might actually be the most expensive of the games on this list. Anyway, I am out of time, so I'm ending this video, and have an amazing day. That's Obu and the Secret Forest at number one.